Horns up and welcome to the final knockout round of Ramen Wars. 8 of Mumbai's top ramen bowls will compete against each other in a knockout-style contest. The top 8 competing bowls are Izumi, Mizu, Kuraku, Sifa, Miliway, Chef James, Origami and Kofuku. Let's find out who will be battling it out today. Contender 1. The Sapporo pork ramen from Mizu for 1200 but I paid 1295 on Swiggy with taxes and tip. Contender 2. The miso ramen with chashu Belgian pork belly from Miliway's for 630 but I paid 865 on Swiggy with taxes, delivery and tip. It's Mizu versus Miliway's. Let the battle begin. Round 1. Fight! Alright guys, today it's the Sapporo ramen from Mizu versus the miso ramen from Miliway's. Now, Sapporo ramen is basically the birthplace of miso ramen, which is why both the bowls are well matched today. Theirs is a miso ramen, so is theirs. Let the battle begin. Alright, let me start by tasting the broth here from Mizu. It's got almost like a rich nutty flavor, almost like peanut buttery, which obviously is from the miso. Very layered. I like it. Let's just dig into this bowl, and you can see it's quite generous. We've got a whole egg here, we've got this fried tofu skin, we've got the pork belly, and I think these are those wood ear mushrooms, and also the fish cake. So it's like a complete bowl of ramen. It's also important to note that it's the most expensive bowl of ramen at around 1200 bucks. So let's see if it tastes like that. Those are some smooth noodles. Let's try the pork. Good flavor on the pork, a little hint of sweetness. Let's try the fish cake. Very mild and subtle. Of course, get some of that tofu skin dipped in the broth as well. Ooh, that's good. And of course, you got to get the lovely jammy egg. That's a pretty solid bowl. Let's try this one now. And there's a lot of stuff happening here. We've got half an egg, pork belly, lots of it, bean sprouts, corn, some nori as well, and some pak choy. Let's dig into the broth first, which is much darker in color. Oh, much lighter broth, not as creamy as the broth here. More soup-like, like very light soup. Let's dig into all the elements now. Alright, the noodles look good, nice and thick. The noodles here are a bit more rustic, a little more chew on them I feel. Let's get into some of the elements. You've got your basic corn here, some bean sprouts. Oh no, I'm not enjoying the raw bean sprouts at all. Even the corn is very, yeah, no, corn is not happening at all. It's just like very tasteless boiled corn. Like even with the broth, it saves it a little bit, but like it's not really adding any value to this bowl according to me. Let's try the egg, which looks really, really good. The egg looks fantastic. They've sprinkled some togarashi on it as well. Let's try the egg. Now that egg has some flavor. And let's get into the pork belly. That looks succulent. Of course, got to do a bit of that. The battle of the broths. Alright guys, I got to be honest, there is definitely a big difference between both bowls. The Miliway's bowl is nice, but it definitely lacks a lot of oomph and punch and character. It feels more like a light noodle soup kind of thing. So I give this a 7. The Mizu bowl on the other hand packs a punch. That broth has got so many layers of flavor. It's creamy, it's umami, it's got that nuttiness, and all the elements just fit perfectly here. So for me, this is a solid 9 out of 10, and that makes Mizu the winner of today's episode of Ramen Wars. And I'll see you on the next one. Until then, cheers and keep eating.